What's going on, everybody? I'm here with artist Baby Just.
Hello, hello,
We're
hello.
we're gonna give everyone just an opportunity to go ahead and hop on the stream quick. We'll give about an extra minute or two here. I know people are still filtering in, and then we're gonna go ahead and kick it off. We've got
Awesome.
a fun live stream ahead of us.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, we do.
Cool. But in the meantime, I just wanted to say thank you guys for popping onto this. Justin, I know you're appreciative of that.
Yes, I am.
And we're excited to go ahead answer some questions, particularly Justin. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off. We are now a minute deep. So, as promised, if any of you were on my previous live stream last week, we did a Q&A, and I had a lot of feedback referring back to when Justin was actually featured in one of my Wix videos.
Topic of discussion.
Topic of discussion, talking about Wix Music, and he actually did kind of like a review about Wix Music and talked about the app, which actually turned out really well. And the whole remaining part of the live stream there, we had a lot of questions surrounding Justin and what Justin does and how his process works and his story. So in today's live stream, just like I promised, I brought Justin on,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to ask Justin some questions. We are going to dive into the live stream, and then at a certain point in the live stream, I'm going to turn it over to you guys to go ahead and ask, particularly Justin, questions. If you've got questions for me, obviously I'm here as well. But the star of the show today is Baby Just. He's a rap hip hop artist, and he's super excited to be on. Make sure as we dive in that you click that like button down below if you haven't already, to show Justin some love, show the channel some love. Hit that subscribe button if you're brand new here. I'm really appreciative of that if you are, and we're super excited to have you on. And then lastly, use that live chat feature over on the right if you're on desktop, or down below if you're on mobile, to ask us questions throughout this live stream.
We got a question.
So we got something. 6 feet. I'm not sure I really understand that. But we are going to go ahead. Again, you're encouraged to go ahead and use that live chat feature. So, Justin, first
Kick it
off,
off.
thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
Absolutely. So, we got a lot of feedback in the last live stream
From what I've
that
heard,
said
yep.
that people really like the informal, more just loose style.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of what it's going to be.
Okay.
This is no high pressure gig here.
It's all good.
But with that said, why don't you kind of just introduce yourself and tell people what you're doing right
Okay.
now?
Um, my artist name is obviously Baby Just, as you can tell from the title, but my real name is Justin Strout. Michael just so happens to be my brother, and yeah, I make music. I enjoy doing it. I make music. I also engineer my music and produce it. And I have been since I was 14 or 15, I think around then. I started making music with with Michael and another friend of mine.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, it was and yeah, just that came, more and more time spent in like Audacity, and then later on FL Studio. And then over time, I just upgraded equipment and upgraded my skill and just invested a bunch of time into the craft, which hopefully reflects back onto the music.
Absolutely. And we got a little feedback here that audio's a little low. So we're
Okay,
gonna go
okay.
ahead and monitor. Thank God we got an audio engineer with us, so he's working the audio. So with that said, go ahead in the chat below and let us know. Can you hear us better now? Is the audio better now? And then while you're at it, go ahead and let us know where you're streaming from. Where are you streaming
We
from?
have Luxembourg,
Yeah, it looks like, what do we got? Luxembourg, Pakistan,
Pakistan.
and
Oh,
will
that's
we
a question for you.
yeah, will we
Answer that.
say something about coronavirus? Well, coronavirus is obviously a global pandemic, not good. However, I think everyone is trying to adapt to a new normal currently.
Yep.
I know here in Arizona, we just got issued stay-at-home orders,
Hmm.
so state is now shut down to everything non-essential. I know it's varying, different from everywhere across the country. But that's kind of where we're at. I'm sure we'll touch on that more throughout the live stream. But yeah, at the
Stay
moment,
safe, stay quarantined.
yeah, stay quarantined, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll go ahead and take it from there. I'm assuming sounds like audio is better now.
Awesome.
Haven't had any feedback. So with that said, just obviously, you said you started back 5, 6 years ago now,
Around then, yeah.
making music. We took a stab at it. So explain kind of how you started. What got you into music to begin with?
Well, that's a very well because I've been listening. I've been loving music since I was a little kid, and I just remember listening to I remember the first album I ever listened to that pulled me in was 808s and Heartbreaks by Kanye West. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old. It was like the first album I ever listened to front to back, and just like I remember hearing that and like it sounded so different than everything I was listening on the radio that it like kind of brought me into like the rap and R&B like sphere of music and genre. And then later on, as I grew older and started going into high school, I would be listening to music and I would hear what they were making, and I would always like wonder like how can I make this? Like how can I make something that sounds like this? Because the music just sounded like rap music in general, it just sounded so appealing to me that it's just I wanted to recreate it and make something new out of it. And so just like that drive of hearing something and wanting to not really improve it, but just expand upon it or like recreate or just make in general, just create in general that style and create music. It just drive like a passion that
Yeah,
kind of kept going.
and that passion has always been there, and I've seen that with you. But it actually brings up an interesting point, and I hear this a lot.
Mhm.
Um, I believe you've got a natural. Would you say that people are born with just like a natural ear?
I would say I think definitely there are people who are born with an ear for music because people can be born and they can have perfect pitch and they can, identify a note based on just by hearing it and just know what note it is. But yeah, the people can be born with a natural ability to hear music, and obviously, like people say that like audio engineers, like you gotta have an ear for it. But I also think you can train that too.
Of course,
Like unless you're completely tone deaf,
right,
you can listen and you can practice and you can learn how to train your ear to hear that to hear things a different way basically. So basically when you just listening and like instead of hearing it, you'll learn to listen
right,
to music and break it down into
absolutely.
elements in your head.
Okay, and to kind of backtrack a little bit, when we were talking about how you got music, you talked about Kanye West. Can you talk about some of your biggest influences in music?
Yes, music or just in general.
Your craft, whatever that may be,
Okay.
but whoever influenced you.
So obviously, like I said, Kanye West because that was the first, that was the one, and then also just based on personal opinion, I just enjoy his music, his style, his charisma. Obviously, he doesn't make the best decisions all the time. He's not the best market publicist in there,
No
but
PR is bad PR.
that's true. But yeah, I would say Frank Ocean because his it's a feeling that comes from like music that you hear or you feel from anyone, and it's like Kanye West, Frank Ocean, but also it's like Stanley Kubrick, like film. Like I
Right.
think film can be just as inspiring towards music than music can. It like anything could be pulled from you could pull inspiration out of anything, and so like Kubrick, Kanye, Frank, Tarantino, Scorsese, all those dudes are just
Right.
huge influences on my life.
Absolutely. And everyone in the chat, who are your biggest influences? And I know there's some questions in here, and I'll cycle back to the questions after I kind of hit my Q&A with Justin here. But who are your biggest influences? Go ahead and write in the chat below and let us know. I'm curious to hear, because obviously you could hear who Justin has been influenced by.
Hmm.
So those are your biggest influences. Now talk about what it was like to kind of make music while in high school. How did you balance everything?
I'm actually kind of surprised I did balance because during high school it's funny enough because Ty's in the chat. It's funny. Yeah, during high school, it was basically well, during sophomore year of high school, it was every day having 2, 3 people over and just working on music, like whatever. It could be horrible, it could be great, but as long as we tried to make something, that was our goal, and we just kind of kept going. It just never stopped. Like obviously you would spend time to do your like schoolwork and actually get school done,
Right.
but you also spend that other half of that time creating and working on your craft. And that's just what we did. It's just we tried everything. We just would experiment on everything, and anything can go. And if it worked, it worked. And if it didn't work. It's just as much time as you can invest.
Absolutely. And it looks like we got new people joining left and right here. So, just as a reminder, I'm here with Baby Just, artist, doing some cool work here. And we've got people in the chat. It looks like Alexander here says Kanye, Chance,
J.
J.
Cole,
Cole.
Scott Score,
Yep.
Jay Dilla, Metro are his favorite producers. Those are some good picks.
Absolutely. So Alexander, that's a pretty solid lineup right there, I'd say. Those are all artists I listen to. I know obviously you've been influenced by some. So that's really interesting to hear how you went through high school with music. My question is, and I'm sure everybody else is wondering, and we're gonna get into the juicier details now, is what are you doing now? What happened after high school?
So after high school, I applied to go to an audio engineering school in Arizona called the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences, and I went. It's currently I've been in school, but ever since the coronavirus, it's been canceled at the moment. But up until then, I moved in with my roommate, and since I was at a school where everyone is there to be an audio engineer, everyone kind of clicks in their own way, and we formed our group of people, and every single day since I moved out in August, we've just been working on music and working on something. Same thing as in high school, but just on a bigger scale with more knowledge and more, experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously shout out Day Day, your roommate. Looks like Ty was saying that was fun when you guys would make music back in the day.
Hmm.
But talk about what that's like though to be in that environment with people like-minded. And you live in an apartment with Day Day, you've got people over all the time.
All the
How
time.
does that environment contribute to your success and continued success? Because I've watched the music evolve, and it
It's
has.
it's important to have like-minded people around you. Like you can do it solo. It's definitely possible, but it's so much better just to have a team of people. Not necessarily you don't have to make songs, you don't have to form a group and make songs together, but just to work together and make your own stuff, and just being around people that continue to be better at whatever. This doesn't even apply to music.
Right.
This applies to anything.
Agreed.
But for music specifically, just being around people that inspire you, but also you can inspire them. It's just a constant. You're just kind of feeding off each other,
Right.
and that just a vibe. It sounds kind of strange because a vibe,
It is
but
though.
it's a real feeling. It's a real thing that like drives the whole creative experience and the music experience, and having people to share that creative space with and have them to motivate you and inspire you is crucial. It's important.
I couldn't agree more. I went to LA for that mastermind event,
Mhm.
and that was exactly that. It was
Same thing.
combining the like-minded entrepreneurs together in one house. And although it wasn't the hype house,
No,
it
no.
certainly felt like the house of productivity. Like we were all just together, pushing each other forward, and just being the best versions of ourselves. And everyone was there to support you. And I think that's really contributed a lot. And how would you say, Crass as a school has helped you advance? And another question out there
Mhm.
for young artists, because I'm sure it's a question they want to know the answer to. What's your thoughts on school for artists and what direction they should take with that?
Okay. So, first question you asked about crass.
Crass, yes.
So, what did I learn, or
How has that impacted you in your success as well?
I would say it was very important because, well, like as we mentioned, I had I've already been doing it for. You can take the skills that you already knew and then get a whole get basically the basic knowledge and the fundamental knowledge that you should know, and you get to learn like tricks that you typically wouldn't known or you wouldn't have known before, or maybe something you might have known but you haven't applied it yet, and you can learn on how to apply different tricks or different techniques into your own craft and your own music that can improve it. Because at the end of the day, like you go to school to learn how to mix, but you
Right.
can't be taught how to mix.
Right.
You could get taught the fundamentals, but engineering itself, it's its own art form.
Yeah, and let me tell you this before he answers the next question. Watching what he does, what all of them do, your entire little group there,
Hmm.
it's absolutely
It's like
insane.
magic.
It's literally like magic. They'll pull up the laptop or the computer, and you'll pull up what you guys are using Pro Tools now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we track in the Pro Tools.
Yep. So they're using Pro Tools, and they'll pull it up. They'll take a verse from a song, and it's literally like magic what happens. For people that are non-music savvy, non-audio engineering, it's absolutely insane.
It's pretty. If you hear like the raw version of a song before anything is treated, like the initial tracking session of just recorded vocals or a beat,
Right.
you probably wouldn't assume that it turned out to what it turns out to what it is. Even a professional song starts that way,
Right.
which is it's kind of cool to like it's when you realize it, when you wrap your head around it, it actually inspires you more, because when you think about it, even celebrity and famous artists, they're in the same spot. They have
Yeah.
to start the same way. They
Exactly.
start in an empty session too.
It's interesting stuff. So now let's go back to the topic. Obviously, I've
Mhm.
got my thoughts on college for entrepreneurs, but just your thoughts on. There's a young artist. I'll give
Yep.
you a situation. There's a young artist. They're in high school, just like you were, approaching now. Well, although everything's kind of messed up at the moment,
Yeah.
approaching graduation, and they're deciding on what to do. Should they go to school? And if they should go to school, what should they do to keep furthering their career as an artist?
Uh, I would say it's a hard question because there's a lot of outliers that can apply to it.
Of course.
But I mean, I would say, yeah, you could go to school, because if you go to school, even if you don't even go to school to be a specific audio school, even if you just go to a regular college or even a trade school, it's just about finding time, like always just trying to find time to work, because it's just how bad you want it.
Right.
Because if you really want it, then you'll find time to put in the craft and trying to improve your craft. And no matter what the situation it is, that's the case 100% of the time. Is you just have to find the time to work, even if you go to an audio school, a regular school. It's just maintaining a schedule that allows you to meet your goals, or invest time into your personal hobby or
Yeah. Absolutely. And for everyone out there watching, again, we've got Baby Just here. Time to a lot of people varies. What is time into you? Because I've seen your schedule at Crass, and it's absolutely nuts.
well, okay, so
In a good way.
yeah,
In a good way.
so it can vary, because like there can be days when we don't do anything. Well, we'll just sit down and we'll play like Tony Hawk all day. We'll play the PS2 all day. But there's also some days when
How's it going?
oh
Yeah, we just got someone
oh
pop in and say
well,
hello.
hello. But yeah, there's some days too when we'll start working on a song, and we'll start at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then next thing you know, I'll be finishing up like the 10th version of the mix at 3 a.m.
Right.
And that's just a constant, you know, like first you'll record the song, and then you'll make a rough mix, and then you'll mix it, and then you'll try different mix versions, and you'll try different mastering, and you'll try in the headphones, and you'll go into the car and test it out in the car, then you'll go back upstairs and tweak the mix, and then rebounce it, and then go back to the car and test it in the car, and then that'll be 10 times, and next thing you know, you've wasted I mean, not wasted, but you 4 hours, 5 hours have passed, and you're in like 3 a.m.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it happens
And
so quick.
But at the end of the day, if you love it, that shouldn't be an issue.
Right.
If you love it, then that's the process. That's why you do it.
Right. Right.
That's why everyone would do it, is because that's the best part of the whole thing.
I couldn't agree more. So let me ask, we've kind of touched on a little bit, and I'm sure there's going to be questions out here. Remember, guys, use that live chat feature to ask questions. We are going to open questions and answers in a
Yes,
couple
yes.
minutes here. But we've talked about kind of how you got started a little bit. We talked about, high school music. We
Mhm.
talked about crafts a little bit. So what's next? What do you want the future to look like?
Personally, I want to move to a bigger city, which is at the moment a little bit harder. Uh, but yes, move to a bigger city, be where more opportunity is, but also just has since I started when I was 14, just keep working. Just keep trying to be better every day,
Mhm.
trying to make something new and try to the next time I release something, I want it to be better than the last thing I released.
Right.
And that's honestly what my goals have been. It's just improve as an artist, improve as a musician, improve, just anything you can improve upon. That's what I want to do.
Absolutely. And I could be wrong here because I know schedules got a little flip flop now with
Yeah.
everything, but your next move is to LA, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So Justin will be moving out to LA to continue that. I really appreciate the answers to those questions.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to open it up to you guys to go ahead and ask Justin some questions. You could ask me questions, whatever you'd like. This is a Q&A live stream, so we're going to open it up, and there's already some questions in the chat. I'm going to scroll back up and start looking at those. So we've got one right here. How have you been trying to create revenue as an artist?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one, but
See,
it's an important one,
this
right?
is so it's a hard truth to face, but in the beginning, when especially if you're just starting, you can't expect to see money for a little bit because it's the hard truth, but a lot of the time, like I haven't even started making money off music yet, and I'm already 5 years deep because those 5 years have been practice. I've been trying to improve my craft and honing it in. Um, but you know, revenue wise, it's after you've put in the time and after you've improved your craft to the point where you have a product that you can sell. Um, it sucks, but even music itself, there's no revenue. It's all of the money that in music is through touring and merchandise
Right. I mean, you get a little bit from
from
streaming, right?
streaming.
Like, but a little bit.
But even if you sign to a label, though, those streaming numbers really don't matter. Like they kind of take most of it.
Okay.
So
So it does sound like, from what I've collected from our conversations from proven success of artists, it sounds like touring and merch are your big revenue
yeah,
drivers for music.
because people don't really buy physicals anymore.
Right.
So a lot of people would stream, and there's not that much money in streaming
Right.
because it's a PM. It's like a per was it
Cost
view?
per thousand.
Yeah,
Yeah, cost per thousand stream. Yeah, so it as far as revenue opportunities, and I could kind of speak to this from my perspective. It's put. It's Here's the thing: an artist out there watching this live stream right now, and you're trying to figure out maybe next steps. Keep honing your craft, but
definitely.
always share your music. Always share your stuff. Everyone you see, put it out there. Share it with them, and then as you continue to build, a stronger and stronger fan base, you can start making those decisions, like going on tours, little tours, or selling merch and getting that fan base built up. And that's how it works. But
Mhm.
it takes time. Just similar to an entrepreneur, it's not right off the bat usually, and you've got $1 million overnight. That's
No,
just not how it works. You have to keep grinding. You have to keep pushing forward. But
that's the
it's
best part though.
exactly, it's enjoying the journey, right?
Mhm.
Enjoying the journey. All right, guys. Again, so this Q&A is open to you. Please use the chat down below, the live chat, or off to the right, wherever you're at, desktop or mobile. And we're going to kind of go ahead and give you an opportunity to ask some questions here. So use that chat to ask Justin questions, to ask me questions, whatever you'd like.
Send them.
Make sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button. Keep showing support, some love. And then I think just at the end of this, we'll have maybe a special announcement.
I would assume so.
Yeah, maybe a
Yeah.
special announcement. So
Yeah.
I think we can tell you guys that towards the live stream.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, again, go ahead, use that chat, that live teacher,
Send some questions.
and fire some questions away. Justin's here to answer. I'm here to answer whatever you'd like. We're here. Remember too that we're brothers,
Yeah.
so you can ask questions related to that as well. Justin's my brother, so there's obviously a bunch of stories surrounding that.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about though while people are writing here in the live chat, um, just how initially somehow I was making music with you at one point.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would call it music, but
that was like, I mean, it worked. I mean, it served its purpose, but that was like day one.
yeah. So day one, what was my ability in music?
I mean, it was decent, but we were all decent. We were all learning, so none of us were good. I mean, it's like it's anything. If you love it and you spend the time doing it, you'll get better. It's just how it works.
Right,
So if you wanted to be a good musician, you can. You just had to put in the time.
right. That just wasn't my path.
No, but that's the thing. That wasn't your path.
Right, right.
But the cool thing about this is this talk can apply to anything
Yeah,
because literally anything. It's fundamentals. Like if you spend time, if you love it and you spend time doing it, and you want success with whatever you're doing more than anything, then that's what's gonna happen.
yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
you'll do it because you'll put in the work.
I couldn't agree more. Hey guys, remember that live chat is open. We're gonna keep this stream going as long as you guys have some questions. If you want to see me ask Justin more questions, go ahead write them in the live chat. But when you guys kind of run for a few consecutive minutes without questions, I think we could tap out and make an announcement. So
True.
it's totally on you guys. Please go ahead and ask some questions. Thank you for your work. I've learned a lot from your videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you learned a lot. As far as how old am I? I'm 21 going on 22.
19 going on 20.
There you go. So 21 going on 22, 19 going on 20. Some crucial years, some opportunity to obviously keep advancing. And it's important to
But it's actually age doesn't really matter.
know.
Especially with music, you can start at any age and be just fine.
Right. I think that's important note, and I think that's an important note for anything.
It's never too late.
No, it's never too late, and really, in most cases, it's never too early either.
Yeah.
Like age should not be. I started my stuff at like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
I started selling stuff. I started building little businesses, mowing lawns. You started really young too.
Well, same with 14.
Yeah.
I was end of 8th grade, freshman year of high school. Like a 14-year old probably wouldn't blow up, but that it's just that age gave me enough time to hone in and just learn and like invest. It was just
And guys, go ahead and use that live chat again when you guys are tapped out of questions. Guys, go ahead and use that live chat again when you guys are tapped out of questions. We'll be clearly you both found your passions at a young age. What or who do you credit that to? That's actually a good question. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go
first?
Okay. Clearly we both found our passions at a young age. Who do I credit that to? So I would say as a broad, my passion is entrepreneurship. It's business. It's building businesses. By the way, Delaney, great question. As far as who do I credit that to? I certainly do credit it to my family. I obviously grew up in an entrepreneurial family. To say that doesn't have any impact on how you have perceived the future or how you will perceive the future would just be wrong. Because it makes a huge
it's a
impact.
different mindset.
Granted, I took the entrepreneurial route and I enjoy that. So my mother, father, I definitely credit to them. But I personally believe that I was born with an entrepreneurial just talent or drive. I think I had it. I think it just came to me. But it definitely is that nurture versus nature thing too. It was nurtured as well, so it was fostered as I continue to grow. But what about you?
Yeah, I would say relatively the same. You know, growing up with our parents having that entrepreneurial spirit, that really from a young age it kind of put the idea in our head that there is no like rule as doing what you like for your job. You can do whatever. Like our parents would support us whatever we chose to do. They'll
Right.
be there and they'll support like 100%. And so that definitely helped because it gave us that mindset that you could do whatever you want since we were kids.
Right.
But also, I would say, you know, as a musician, obviously, other musicians were inspired me. Like I told you, like Kanye West, Frank Ocean, Daniel Caesar. But also, like I said previously stated, anything like you could pull inspiration from literally anything. Your favorite director, your favorite artist, your favorite painter, your favorite public speaker, your favorite politician, anything you can pull inspiration from.
Right.
And that all those add up to drive to your ultimate goal. It's like a point system. It's
I
like
agree. I absolutely agree, and I think that's a great point. Again, guys, live chat is open to you to go ahead and ask some questions. We're live here with Baby Just Artist. So feel free to use that live chat section below to go ahead and ask those questions. We're here to answer them. It actually brings me back a little bit as we were talking about being younger to a time when we first moved out here,
yeah.
and I think I was maybe 10, you were 8.
Mhm.
And do you remember that time we went door to door, and the guy down the street, because we were looking to make some extra cash.
Oh,
I
when we did his garden,
Yeah, his garden.
we just destroyed his garden.
Well, not intentionally,
Not
but
intentionally,
we
no.
we were we were 10 and 8 years old, and we were looking to just make some extra cash. We always had that like drive to do that. And I took Justin down with me, and we're like, what can we do? Can we like mow the grass? Could we help
They
him
didn't even
in the
have a
garden?
lawn or anything.
No, he didn't. So we just went down there and we just said, like, hey,
We can
we
help
can
your
mow your
garden.
grass, we can help you out. And he's like, well, actually, I can use some help in the garden. And I think he paid us both $15.
Was it?
I think it was, or maybe it was 15 total.
I just remember just digging up dirt,
Yeah,
throwing it.
we were digging up dirt, and then I moved Justin. I assigned his role to digging up the dirt, and then the guy asked me to come out and wash his car, and I had to
Yeah,
go out there and wash the car.
I just remember leaving the garden worse than it was when I came in because
Yeah.
I just kind of just played there for a little bit. It just didn't do anything.
Right. And it was an interesting time, but it just goes to show like the lesson to take out of that is, again, first off, age really does not matter. Like if you go out there, you put forth an effort and you actually attempt to help people out, it to help people out, it works, and you keep forward on that. But I think that's just a funny story to
No, it is.
illustrate
Yeah,
that. Um,
I think I got a question.
any business except Wix Academy. At the moment, Wix Training Academy is the business. I was running, a full in-depth web development agency last year. I toned that back a little bit to focus in and hone in on the content piece of things, because obviously I wanted to start delivering some more diversified content and just keep pushing forward to help out the audience out there.
Hmm.
The goal is to help you guys with Wix. I've got a lot of business as an entrepreneur, like a true bred entrepreneur. I've got business ideas fly past my mind just about every few minutes on a daily. So sometimes it's tough. You got to keep focused. And I would say focus is one of the biggest keys you can have, both in anything,
Anything. Yeah,
as an artist, as an entrepreneur, at your job,
it's
whatever
just
that is.
fundamentals.
It's fundamentals and keeping focused and having a clear goal or vision.
Hmm.
If you keep that focus toward that, but having a clear goal or vision,
Hmm.
if you keep that focus toward that vision, you're going to hit it. So, great question. Yes, I know kind of a long winded answer to that, but Wix Training Academy is my business at the moment. And that's what, I aim to continue to grow,
Hmm.
obviously, with the support of awesome Wix Nation here.
Yep.
That's the goals. So, again, guys, live chat questions, totally go ahead and use that. Ask questions. Again, can either be to me or Justin, especially for all you artists out there. I know in our last live stream, we had quite a few artists on, had some interesting questions, and Justin can help answer some of those questions. And you can also answer more technical questions too if
Yeah.
artists have technical questions out there. So go ahead, use that live chat below
Do it.
and
Send some
ask some questions. We're here ready to answer. Guys, it's quarantine, so really it's
Yeah,
not like
you're home.
you're home. Hopefully, unless you have an essential visit or grocery or pharmacy, whatever
Or
that
you have
may
an
be.
essential job.
Essential job. Yep. Um,
Let's see.
this is for you.
Was one plugin that changed your whole workflow? Oh man, I have an answer to that. When I before like the I think it was like a month before I went to school, started going to college. I got the Slate Digital plugins, like the Slate bundle, and that one it's a membership fee, and that one purchase alone changed my whole workflow because it's hard to explain over words how it works, but
Right.
it's a bunch of plug. It's basically you're paying a monthly fee to get a bunch of plugins that work very well, and you can make a great vocal chain out of them. So, but
Awesome.
yeah, Slate Digital. But I would say plugins. I mean I would say just in general like plugins. You could use stock plugins and still make a great sound. A plugin doesn't determine the sound. Obviously, yeah, there's plugins that sound better than others, but if you're just starting, like FL Studio, like stock sounds are perfect. Like their stock plugins are great. That's what I started on before I invested money into it.
So Alexander, great question. Do you have any plugins what is there out there? There's FL Studios, there's Pros.
Those are like the dogs.
Yeah, those are the big ones. What do you use, Alexander? Excuse me. And then again to everyone else, Alexander just asked an excellent question.
Questions.
Guys, go ahead, hit the questions down below. There's no bad questions. We
No.
will answer literally anything. We've got a lot of stories between both of us combined.
Yeah.
From boxing out in the front yard at a young age when we were acting up to
Just like being each other.
little fight nights.
Basically.
uh,
Let's see, he works with.
Ableton.
Oh, you work with Ableton. I like Ableton. See, I started on FL Studio, so I've tried Ableton and I like how it works, but I'm not gonna change into it's like a it's like an iPhone Android thing. It's
Right.
where you start on. It's probably where you're gonna end up using until you die.
Right.
So
it's interesting.
But another just a quick add-on.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ableton, I produce in FL Studio, but I track and I mix and I master in Pro Tools.
Okay. So
Yeah.
do you want to, while people are still asking some questions?
Listen to the Fab Filter plugins. Oh,
Yeah.
those are good too. Their EQs are great.
Awesome. There you go, Alexander. So you got some similarities here. And then, so I know we've got some artists in this particular live stream. So while people are using that live chat to ask some questions, again, ask us anything, we'll answer.
Anything.
You used a key distinction there. You produce in one, you mix and master in another. Yep. So what's the difference between those without, being highly technical?
Production. So I use FL Studio for the production side of it. So I'll use that to make the beat. In the simplest sense, like I'll make the beat in FL Studio, and then I'll bounce the track outs or the multi tracks from FL Studio, pull them into Pro Tools, and then I'll record all the vocals and all the parts of the song that it require a talent to sing, and then I'll mix and master in Pro Tools. It's just a workflow, know, because you could do the same thing. Yeah, I can produce and I can also track in FL Studio. It's just my workflow is not that. Yeah. I just prefer to use something else.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a good explanation. And to everyone else out there, again, we're gonna stand by, let you guys take it home with the chat here and type in your questions in our live chat.
For sure.
And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna answer them for you. Again, either Justin or I, whoever you've got questions for, we're here to help answer them. We're here enjoying it, trying to make the best of quarantine, right? I mean, there's only so much you can do. You can do a bunch of work, but you got to have fun too. So this is a form of fun. I guess it's a form of work, but it's a form of fun, I'd
True.
say. Looks like we got some more questions here. Justice looks like more up your alley.
He said, I've been producing an FL Studio for a few years. I'm having trouble finishing the tracks. I always do some short demos and I give up on tracks. Do you have a recipe for finishing projects?
Mm,
Ooh, that's actually a good question.
it's a really good question.
Honestly, I could be I'm the same way. Like there's some songs, there's some saves on my computer where if you click on it, all it is just drums and a quick melody and a playlist, and that's all it becomes. But finishing projects, I would say uh, a recipe. Oh, I'm trying to think. Let me reread the question again. Okay, so for finishing tracks, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think about like the best advice to give.
Well, let me ask you this. Does it help if you have a clear vision to begin with? Like you're creating an album or you're creating an EP?
Yeah, okay, so that definitely does help. So having a goal to begin with is definitely good. So if you know you want to make beats for an album or you're making beats for someone else, or you're making beats for an EP, that definitely helps. But a lot of times it's really on a whim. It's kind of like let's produce something today. Let's make some beats. And I would say the best advice I could say is, if you do make a short little demo, revisit it at a later time. Like give it time to breathe, and then revisit it and see if you can improve upon it. See if you want to finish it. And that happens a lot with me. I'll make a quick demo, and then I'll go back a week later, and then I'll finish out the whole beat, and then that'll turn into a whole song. And then the song itself could be the same process. I could do it all one day, or I could spend 2 weeks on it. Just it really all depends. It's a song by song basis. But if you have a clear goal in mind and if you revisit old tracks and if you at least attempt to finish one, that's another thing I try to force myself to do is at least try to finish it. And if it doesn't work, you could always revisit it.
Absolutely. That was actually a really good question.
That was a good question. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a very good question. It looks like Valgard.
Yeah.
Valgard. Very, very good question there. So just like Valgard, just like Alexander asking and Delaney asking wonderful questions in the chat, it's your opportunity now to go ahead and ask either Justin or I some questions here in the chat. We've had some, we haven't had a lot of questions, but we've had some really great questions. Some really high quality questions. Know that there is no wrong question here, guys. You can ask us anything. This isn't ask me anything.
Doesn't have to be about music or entrepreneurship.
You can ask about anything.
Your favorite movie.
Yeah, favorite movies.
I could talk my
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we could go on movies for a long time, but that live chat is open to you guys. It's an opportunity for you to get to know both myself, to know particularly Justin better, how we work, what we do, and what we're about. Because that's what this is all about. At the end of the day, not the personal connection. You got to build on that relationship, and that's what we're trying to do here, guys. And that's what it's all about: building meaningful relationships. It is. It's
no,
yeah.
Laughing got really inspired.
Yeah, I know. We took a turn there. We turned into a motivational live stream, which is not a bad thing. But go ahead once again. It's on you guys. Go ahead, use that live chat feature down below. Ask some questions. We're here to answer them. We're standing by, and then when you guys say you're tapped out of questions, we'll say we're tapped out on the live stream. But
a little announcement. But
yeah, we do have an announcement at the end of this live stream.
We gotta go Bucks.
We gotta go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Whoa, what's happening here?
Is that a Dunmore person?
Yeah, wait a second. Who do we have on here?
Is that a Dunmore person?
Who is it? Walter. We got Machinsky. I mean,
Walter Machinsky.
That sounds like a name. Anyway, Walter. What did we have a question here? What's the best way to drive traffic to my site? I will help answer that. But go Bucks. I'm curious. Are you from Dunmore, Walter, or Scranton area at all? Just let us know.
NEPA area.
Close to Dunmore. Look at this.
Wow.
Awesome. Showing some love and support. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Go Bucks.
Yeah, go. That threw me off for a second. So Walter, best way to drive traffic to your site? Great question. First and foremost, it comes down to obviously creating a site that fosters traffic. So putting consistent content on your website, making sure it's kept up to date. Those are all important aspects of obviously driving traffic to your website. But from a more technical sense, you have to look into different options, both in person, speaking at events, hosting local workshops. These are all examples of, being able to drive traffic. But then digital marketing. Digital marketing is like the key right now. Posting on social media marketing, using Google, using blog content, Google ads, Facebook ads. These are all ways to drive traffic to your site. Just make sure when people do hit your website that there's a clear path for them to hit your call to action, whatever that is, whether you're looking to get people on your email list, sell something, whatever that may be. But Walter, thumbs up to you. And let's all get a thumbs up for Justin,
yeah.
for everyone on the stream right now, hitting that thumbs up down below. Go Bucks.
See,
Let's see. We got
Jeff?
Jeff, MPS, love your tutorials. Much love. I appreciate that.
Ty asked me what's my favorite song
Ooh, Ty.
that I've ever made. Oh God, I I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
though.
that's a good question.
Good question, Ty. So what is it? I mean, think
I
about
don't,
that.
I don't,
So you've got you've got old songs, and then you've got like your new
yeah,
stuff.
I have stuff from, years ago, and I have stuff that I made yesterday.
So what's your current favorite then?
Oh my God, that is a hard question. I do not even know how to answer that. I would say one of my favorites was one I made. I think it was 2 years ago. You can't even. It's on SoundCloud, but it's private.
Okay.
It's called Basic. I remember
I remember that.
I remember I revisit that song a bunch sometimes just to get a little inspiration boost. Actually, that's a quick ad. If you've made music in the past or you're currently a musician and you're making music, going back and listening to your old work is actually a really good way to get a quick little boost and of creativity and like inspiration to go make something else. Because
Right.
you kind of, at least in my case, I listen to my old stuff and see how it's progressed, and that gets me inspired. It's like, okay, so it is getting better, because sometimes if you can get a little lost, you could feel a little stuck in place,
Right.
and it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, but then you can remind yourself that you're still going.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Quinn's on too.
Oh, what's up, Quinn?
We got
Um,
big facts from Quinn. Hey
see.
guys, go ahead, use that live chat, ask some questions, fire away. We're here to answer. Ty, that was a good question. Looks like you tripped Justin up a bit on his favorite
Yeah.
song. I can imagine that would be hard though. That's like,
That's a tough, yeah.
sometimes.
What's your favorite kid?
Yeah, that's fair. Tell us some more of your funny childhood stories.
Oh, let's see. There's before that.
Yeah, I know we got Jeff talking about Laker Nation. LeBron's a monster. Go LeBron. Honestly, I don't even have a favorite team in the NBA. I'm just Team LeBron. Quinn, big facts, big facts. We got Valgard here. Tell us some of your funny childhood stories.
Oh man.
So we can flip back to that. It looks like Ty's got some funny childhood stories. So Ty, what's one word that defines you as an artist? Wow, that's another solid question.
Why is Ty just coming with the hard questions?
Hi.
What's one word to define me as an artist? What we were talking about this yesterday.
Versatile.
Versatile. There we go. That's I think that's the best thing I could say.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. I pride myself on being pretty versatile.
Yeah. That's. I mean, that's a good word to describe it. I've seen a wide variety on your part. So versatile. And that's a good adjective to use too.
Yeah.
So Valgard, some funny childhood stories. And again, guys, that live chat is still open to you. Ask some questions. Look like we just had a great round of questions here. Keep those coming. We're here. Pop on the live stream. Have all your family, friends pop on the live stream. It's quarantine time. Let's just be in this together. We'll stay on as long as you guys want us to stay on. Some funny childhood stories. Man, where do we even start with that?
Oh no.
Well, so just like Walter's on, he's close to Dunmore. We grew up in the Scranton, Pennsylvania area. Yes, home of The Office. Dunmore's in particular, where we spent most of our time growing up. And when we would be back in Dunmore, the famous East Coast mom type thing.
Yeah.
She and I just kind of touched on this a little bit before. She when we acted up, when we were at each other for a while there when we got young, and she literally got us in the car, drove to Dick's Sporting
Was
Goods.
it Dick's or
Yeah,
was it
no, it was Dick's. Yeah, it was.
hmm.
And then she walked us to the back, uh, got us both a pair of boxing gloves, and then we got back to the house. We acted up again, going at it with each other,
Oh no.
and then she threw us out the front door, locked the doors.
This might be incriminating, but
Yeah,
but
I don't
mean,
know, but it's a funny story.
Yeah, it's
Nonetheless,
funny,
we are
yeah.
perfectly fine, no problems here. But she said, "You two go figure it out." And then I think we had a boxing match out in the front
We
yard.
just kind of hit each other till we got tired. But
Yeah, we did that.
But we were so young; it didn't take long. It was like 10 minutes, and we were like, okay.
And then I think we moved into like jumping pass catches on Barb's,
Yeah.
like big inflatable thing
Yeah,
in her
we
yard.
broke that thing.
Yeah, that was bad. And then somehow I ended up with a bloody nose. I remember on the cement.
Oh, because it threw the football at your face.
Yeah, that was it. So yeah, we've had a lot of funny childhood stories. Like literally, we can probably have a 24-hour session just
Yeah,
talking about
there's a
funny
lot.
childhood stories. But yeah, keep the questions rolling. Ty has a good question here as well, and we're happy to touch on more childhood stories. By the way, if you want us to. What's your favorite album so far this
Ooh.
year? Both of you, and why?
Damn, like I'm assuming he's asking, what our
Music.
favorite artist.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This is a good question, Ty. This is
I'm
actually a
trying to
really
think
good.
about what came out this year. I mean, I've been listening to, that's because I've been waiting for that for like 2 years.
Right.
Or 3
Roddy
years.
Rich came out this.
Yeah, like that was a good. That
Yeah.
was a good one. I mean, it's it's hits on hits on hits on that one. Um,
I'm gonna go out there and say this so far, just because I gotta show some love. You know what I'm gonna say.
yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Circles by Mac Miller. It's by no means a pump up album at all. In fact,
Actually,
it's
I haven't even listened to it yet.
well, I recommend you listen to it. Circles is incredible. It's his posthumous album. It was really, really well done. And props to everyone that orchestrated making that happen.
Mhm.
Again, not quite a pump up album, but it's an album that was just really, really well done. So Mac Miller Circles, that would be one of mine. There's been a lot of pump up albums. What do you think?
There's some. I mean, obviously, there's some good ones that recently dropped. The Weekend, After Hours that dropped. That was good. Don Tolliver's Heaven or Hell. That was good. Um, I'm stuck. I'm only thinking rap right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm really not touching on much. I can say I would agree though with you that Eternal Take was a long awaited one.
Yeah, that was a long wait.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like there's some more questions here.
Jeff.
If you are to start a conversation with a stranger, what would be your opening conversation? Oh, wow.
Hello.
Well, I feel like Jeff, I feel like that's a good question. I feel like you're onto something. I feel like I need a little context though about like how would I
like a business, like a
yeah, is it like talking about business? Is it a business conversation with a
networking?
stranger? Is it just meeting somebody on the street? Because obviously always start with salutations, greetings. Talking about salutation. Just my personal goal would be to just figure out who they are, get to know them better, before I kind of introduce, what I do or
So
myself.
I'm a little bit the opposite. I let myself shine for a second so they know who I am and they can determine whether or not they want to continue with this conversation or not.
That's honestly fair. So Jeff, I do like the direction of that question. And guys, that live chat is open to you guys. Go ahead and keep asking questions.
Just spam it.
Yeah, just bam, hit those questions. You can use that little voice in one of your beats.
Bam.
Yeah, that. I feel like no, he's not gonna. All right, that's not gonna happen. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I think that's to both of us. Ty is right.
I see Ty. I could answer that same thing to you, bud. No, I think 5 years. Me personally.
Yeah.
Where I see myself
Mhm.
successful.
Cool.
I think it's like one of the biggest and only word I could use is just success.
Now, how do you define that though?
Well, I define success based on, music is my job,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hitting the goals I set myself. So based on how many fans I want, how many people are following me,
Right.
stuff like that,
Right.
and also like revenue based on music.
Yeah, of course, of course.
It's
Ty.
not about the money, but it's about the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it. At the end of the day, like they always say, money can't buy happiness, but money does enable you to do things that will make your life more free, to fill your life with freedom, and to make happiness a real opportunity.
Hmm.
So that's my thoughts on that. Ty, dangerous question to ask me because I get real crystal clear with my visions. 5 years from now, I will certainly have a professional studio to shoot videos in. I will hopefully have it to the point where it's a studio that has different studios within it, so one big building, and people could rent out studio space, stuff like that. I'm going to continue building the YouTube channel. I'm going to get into real estate, not to capitalize on what's going on right now, but obviously this is the time to start looking into longer term investments as we near a coming recession. I feel like it's kind of inevitable at the moment, but that's kind of what I want to
Unfortunately.
do from a high level sense without getting super 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 deep. It looks like we got some more questions here. I love that. Keep rattling them off. Michael, do you think it makes sense to enter with your own local but scalable business in the coming economic crisis?
That's a good one.
Wow, that's actually a really good question. So, Valgard, to answer that, I think first and foremost, it really depends on what it is. So, like, if you were going to say, is it a good idea to start a restaurant right now? I would say absolutely not. Not right now because
Mhm.
everything is shut down, right? There's really no way to capitalize on that unless you're doing completely
Unless it's like
online.
Uber Eats, yeah.
Yeah, unless you, but even then,
But
like
yeah,
it's
it's
not the proper way to launch a restaurant. But what I would say as far as local, I don't know if there's much local business I would start at the current moment, me personally. But online, I would tell you online that everyone's in quarantine right now to build that online business. That's
Mhm.
where you want to be. That's where you want to spend your time because there's some really powerful opportunity there at the moment. I'm not here to talk specific numbers, but I can tell you that online, both my business and I've seen other online business owners that I'm very good colleagues with grow exponentially during this time. And it's because everyone's online. We're
Yeah,
in a quarantine. There's not much that people can do outside, right?
for sure.
So I think that's the big answer there. Then it looks like Jeff, and then we'll get to Walter's question as well. Keep room, Jeff.
Yes.
Justin, are you an artist or a producer?
Uh, Artist, producer, and I engineer my own stuff. So I kind of do it all.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, which a lot. I mean, but a lot of people do that. JPEG Mafia does that. He's actually one of the few people I know where his album that released, he is the artist. He produced all the beats and he mixed and mastered the whole project.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm an artist, producer, and engineer, and it's definitely possible to be all three. So,
Yeah, I think it is. And now to kind of further that, and guys, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe if you've been
oh yeah.
enjoying this, and keep those questions coming in the live chat. Do you think now, like as you grow, that you might want to delegate some of those things, or
Mm.
do you think you'll like delegate some of the producing or the mixing and mastering,
Oh,
or do you
uh,
think you'll always want to be in that
see,
role?
that's something tough because I've thought about that. That's always been a thing that's been in the back of my mind. Like, will I ever because it's weird. It's like a personal thing. It's like,
Right.
do I want to let someone else touch this? Do they touch my thing,
Right.
like my song, my my album?
Right.
It's it's obviously I would, but for the meantime, I'm pretty comfortable where I am.
Yeah.
Just doing it all myself. But obviously, I wouldn't take down the opportunity if Metro Boomin sent me a beat. Like, obviously, you're not gonna say no. You're gonna take it.
Right.
Like, yes. So
Situational.
it's a situational. But
Yeah.
for the meantime, I feel pretty good. Just doing my own thing, and letting me, like, just doing it all myself. But even then, like, I take beats. Day Day makes beats for me, and
Yeah.
I get beats from other people, other friends. So
Absolutely.
it's not all
Cool.
one person thing.
So with that, Jeff's got a second question. At the current situation, I'd say the best thing to do is buy stock. I'll give you my opinion on that in a second. Is there a specific stock you guys think we should buy before it gets any better?
It's
Okay.
not a question for me.
Yeah. So
I don't want to give you the wrong advice.
well, first off, to second that, do not take what I'm about to say as financial advice. This is not financial advice. That is a disclaimer. I do have to say that. However, what I will tell you personally, without getting super in depth, because I can get in depth with this
Oh
conversation.
yeah.
Stocks are a good opportunity. They are a good investment opportunity right now. But be careful because the market is extremely volatile at the moment. People think that it has settled down. It has not settled down yet. There's this index called the VIX index, not Wix, but the VIX index.
VIX.
Yeah, VIX, and
Victor.
that measures market volatility. And it's been above 60. I didn't see what the closeout was yesterday, but it's been above 60 for 10 consecutive days, which indicates high volatility in the market. So we did hit an initial bottom at 18,500 points on the Dow. However, I believe this is opinion, that we are going to hit another bottom, that we are going to hit another low, which would indicate a double bottom, which is typically what happens in the market when it indicates a real bottom. So I wouldn't technically buy stocks just yet. But again, that is me. That is my personal investment outlook. I'm not going to buy yet. I'm going to wait, as I think we're still going to hit another bottom. And then I'm going to put some investment money into stocks. As far as any stocks to look at, there's a lot of stocks you can look at. There really are. There's a lot of great opportunities.
To research.
Yeah, just do your research. Again, I can't really tell you specific stocks to be honest with you. I've got a lot on my watch list, but I would say do your research on it. Make sure you're comfortable, and then pull the trigger on a decision. But that's my personal investment outlook
Sure.
at the moment. I know
Walter.
we had a question. Walter, favorite hangout spot in Scranton.
Wow. Hangout spot.
Yeah,
What?
so Walter, we got to get a little bit more specific here. Are we talking favorite like restaurant to hang out at? Or are we talking like favorite hangout spot in general? Because
it's
those are two different things.
If it's a restaurant, then it's definitely my Maroney's Pizza.
As your hangout spot though?
But yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't hang out there.
Right, because like
You can't.
pizza is king in Scranton. Like you got your Maronis, you got your Colarusos, Alfredo's. I think I'm not gonna speak bad about a brand here. Not my favorite anymore. Ravello's. You got all those, but then you got Keystone Texas Wieners. You got, I mean, Gavin's Wings. These are all awesome places, huh? Nina's Hot Wing Hoagie, Drinker Street Pizza. There's quite the sandwich there. I mean, there's a lot of hot spots to hit in Scranton as far as eating goes. In general.
I mean, obviously, but we would always hang out at like Graham's and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we would be at people's houses. Dixon City, going to the mall. If you want to go to the mall, that's an option. Montage, yeah, if you're into skiing, or they got the water park up there too. Those are all options you can go with.
We have the Cinemark there too.
Yeah, Cinemarks or the movie theaters. But yeah, that would kind of be my answer.
Just in general.
Yeah, just in general. Then we got another one from Valgard. Guys, keep those questions rolling. We're having a good time over here. Hit that like button down below, subscribe, show support to Justin. And when we wrap this up at the end, whenever we're done, we want to keep answering your questions. We'll talk about a special announcement with Justin.
Cool.
Back to my question from Valgard. I'm talking about delivering supplies from supermarkets. In Germany, there's practically no competition for this present. Okay, that's a different conversation. So now you're talking about logistics. Logistics is a booming business right now. In fact, logistics is really the only thing in every country keeping everybody fed at the moment, because grocery stores are running out of food. Grocery stores are running out of supplies. So if you're talking about starting a logistics company, yeah, I think there's opportunity there for you. Now, here in the US, there's a lot of competition in logistics currently, and I wouldn't go out on a limb and start a business right this second. There's a lot of steps you have to go through to successfully start a business. But yeah, do I think there's opportunity in logistics? And do I think that this entire pandemic exposed a lot of issues or holes in logistics? Yeah, I do. So I think there's opportunity there. Wherever there is a problem, there is a solution that can be filled with a business. So I hope that answers your question there. Walter, absolutely. Feel free to keep asking us
welcome, no
questions.
problem.
Yeah. We got Jeff again. Thanks, guys. Love this. I was just about to buy things. Yeah, I mean that's my thought on the stock market currently. Just watch it. Again, do your own research. Watch it. There's a lot of philosophies, a lot of different people you can listen to out there, but you have to make your own judgment, your own predictions, and your own. It's your own money, so
Yep.
you gotta make your own investments. Or use a brokerage. That's another thing you can do, or a financial advisor.
It's not a question. I can't answer. If I
Yeah.
answer that question, I lose people a lot of money.
Yeah. So again, use a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't literally legally advise you. That would be my answer. So, guys, that chat is open. The live chat is open. We've just had a wonderful round of questions there. I'd love to keep those rolling. But again, if you guys have questions, we've got answers. Whenever you guys say you're tapped out, we can tap out with you. But we're here to keep answering your questions. That's what we're here to do.
Sir.
Do you have, we can start maybe highlighting what you're going to announce a little bit?
I mean, I could just up front just say it.
Yeah. I think you could do that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
While we're giving them an opportunity to ask some questions.
New song dropping Thursday.
Thursday
Yeah,
night.
Thursday night. Yeah, Outlandish. it's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's an old one, but a good one.
Yeah, you guys are gonna like that. We're gonna throw the link to all that in the description of this video. And by the way, the current links to Justin's music in the description of this video here, in the description of the live stream, so you can check that out there. But go ahead, guys. I'll give you another opportunity to ask another round of questions. Again, we're more than happy to continue answering, but obviously we need the questions to do so. But back to Valgard childhood memories, man. Do we have more childhood?
I mean, yeah,
funny childhood memories.
Obviously, we do, but I'm trying to think. Dumbos of America.
Dumbos of America. Yeah. So this isn't.
That was just an excuse for you to hit me in the nuts.
Well, yeah, it's back in the day. That's
Yeah,
when we were
that
young.
was like that was literally when we moved here, 8, 9, 8, 10.
Yeah, so this wasn't actually my first stab at YouTube, and you could ask Justin that.
It was, yeah, I did YouTube too.
Justin did YouTube for a while. You did gaming content for a while. Yeah. I think I tried to do gaming content with you, but it was
2 videos.
Yeah, I remember. What was that computer one where you're like stranded on the island?
Oh, Stranded Deep.
Yeah, Stranded Deep. I remember I did a video on that about Stranded Deep.
Yeah,
I had really no idea what you upload quality content. You're gonna start to build an audience. You're gonna start to build a fan base. When you're initially starting, it takes time. It's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do, but it's totally worth it. It provides so much opportunity. Like right now, I sit down and I look back to 8 years ago. 8 years ago when I started this channel on New Year's Eve, I think 2012. Oh, yeah, it was New Year's Eve. Yeah. And I look back and I'm like, this was a lot of work. It took me through a lot of interesting times in my life, from junior high to high school to college. It was a roller coaster, it really was. But I wouldn't have changed it for the world. No. I would upload time and time again. I think you could say the same about your music. Yeah. So yeah.
Let's see, we got another one.
Yeah, we got some more questions.
Valgard said your favorite books.
Favorite books.
Oh no.
I've got some of mine.
See, I used to read a lot when I was younger, and then I kind of fell off. But I haven't read books in so long. Like that sound like it's weird because I want to. You know what I mean? I just haven't. Just haven't sat down and read a book.
Yeah.
But from what I remember reading, I remember the Percy Jackson series. I read all those. Like those were good.
Yeah.
Um, I got Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. That's right.
I've seen the movie, but I heard the book is like better, so I'm gonna read the book. Um,
I can certainly speak on that.
but yeah, but you definitely have read more than me, so
Well, so I read a lot of business content. First and foremost, I guess no time like the present. Um, this is still not out public, but I have a book.
uh,
I have a book. So if any of you watching this live stream would like a copy of my book, what I want you to do is I want you to comment on this video. I'll get back to you on that, and then I'll throw. If you go to my channel, go to the about, and you can view my business email. If you send me an email, tell me you want a copy. I will get you a copy of the book. So I wrote a book. But as far as my favorites, I'm a big fan of Crushing It by Gary Vee. That's a wonderful book. Um, School of Greatness by Lewis Howes. Wow, that is a really incredible, really mindset shifting, vision forward book. And he does just great work with providing exercises throughout the book to actually do to continue to advance. Essentialism by Greg McCowan. That is, it puts things into perspective about what's essential, what's not essential. And I think right now, more than the present, that's a really good book to know. You know, what's essential, what's not essential, and put your highest and best use to the essential things and pour all of your time into that. So those are three good books I could recommend, excuse me. And then Jeff asked, what's my book about? So my book is called The Dorm Room Entrepreneur, and it's about being an entrepreneur, starting a business and growing a successful business while in college. And it talks about, you know, how young entrepreneurs need to think, what they should be considering, what type of goals they should be setting, some money mindset. But it's really around mindset. It's a what I like to call it, like my father started this, a shook. It's a short book, but it's really great to help you with your mindset.
For sure.
So again, if you guys are interested in that, just let me know. Otherwise, keep the questions coming in our live chat, and it looks like we got some more
Jeff
here.
has some more.
Yeah, so Jeff, what do we got here?
Jeff said Ready Player One is awesome because Ready Player One is awesome.
Perfect. So you're going to have to read that book. And then, guys, I got some opportunity right now. I got this great idea about a problem we all face right now. It's a problem going to groceries without getting in a 2-hour line, creating a pre-ordered items for groceries while in line for items 20 or less to expedite things. That's an interesting concept, really, because you're right. I know my girlfriend's mom, Delaney's mom, the other day had to run out to Walmart because all of our stores right by us were wiped.
Yeah.
They were just wiped clean. So she had to run out. And I remember she was at Walmart for like 2.5 hours. And the majority of that was in line.
Yeah.
And, you know, what's amazing to me is that we're trying to cut down on social gathering and stop people from being so close to each other. We're trying to social distance. Yet we've got
It's strange as how fast chaos, just like how fast panic spread.
yeah, panic just at an all-time high.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, you guys need to stay healthy. You need to stay
you have to stay
safe.
cautious, stay aware and informed.
Of course,
but don't panic.
Yeah, the panic can probably come down to it. Just play your role, do what you can, and then use this stuff right here.
Social distancing too. Social distancing.
You know, so that's what I would say to that. But that's actually a really cool idea, Jeff. I think you should explore that and pursue it. All right, guys. So the live chat is open. Questions are open. We're having a good time. All of us here. I think everyone watching right now and in the live chat can agree we're having fun. Go ahead and rattle off some more questions at us. Again, as long as you guys have questions, we have answers. So we're going to continue answering. We're in a quarantine. We're not on a timeline.
No.
You know, when you guys, like I said, when you guys want to tap out, we'll tap out. But let's also hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, show Justin some love, show the channel some love. It's much appreciated.
Much appreciation.
Yeah, much appreciation. So Outlandish is coming out. We'll put all the info to that.
Yep.
What do you think of it? I mean, you think it's gonna? What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's a good song. I mean, it's fun to listen to. It's catchy.
It's very catchy.
It's made with a purpose. It's very well. It's old. Yeah, I mean, it was an older one that just it was, we sat on it and didn't know, like we didn't really know whether or not what we should do with it. It was kind of like it was good, but just never got released, and now it just feels like opportune time because it is good. It's a good song and it deserves to be out there.
And I think another interesting thing is someone asked that question
But
before
finished project,
about finished projects. So you're looping back to this.
like yeah, I literally I have finished songs that don't even get released, that can be released at a different time. It's
Right.
like even you can even have finished songs that aren't even completely finished because they didn't even hit the final process of it,
Yeah.
of the release part of it.
Absolutely. It looks like Josh asked me a question here. Are you still doing the Building a Social Network series? You said thing. Yes, I am still doing that series. However, some of the big obstacles, like with the building and comments, stuff like that, I'm working on building into shorter, more digestible videos because doing all of that all at once can be an extremely long video and it's extremely complicated, to be honest with you. So I'm trying to give more opportunity for Wix to continue advancing a couple of things before I keep releasing some of those videos. But yes, it is definitely still a thing. Looks like Valgard's got a question here.
Because
Do
of
you,
experience in cold showers, I've been practicing it for a month. It's amazing.
okay, so I can actually speak to this because
I can't.
I've heard so I don't practice cold showers currently. When I get in a cold shower, I'm miserable.
It's horrible.
But here's what I can say. I've heard that it's very, very good for you in certain regards scientifically. I've seen a lot of big names out there practicing, cryotherapy, cold shower therapy, those type of things.
Mhm.
And I've heard a lot of great results. I heard the biggest thing from a lot of people is it kind of forces you to do something you don't want to do early in the morning if you
Yeah.
shower in the morning so you can start your day off
True.
overcoming an obstacle. And so you're
And it
just
wakes you
propelling
up.
and it wakes you up and it's propelling you for your day and it does have some scientific benefit. So Valgard, you said you've been doing it. It's amazing. So, what are your thoughts on it? Like how has it helped you? Why did you start it?
True.
I'm curious to hear that. So to ask a question back to you, because I have heard great things, and you know what? I'm willing to give it a shot. Matt Deavella, have you ever heard of him?
No.
So he's got a YouTube channel. He does a lot of productivity, lifestyle type things. And he last year he did a bunch of 30-day challenges
Yeah.
where he'll do like 30 days no caffeine, 30 days no sugar, and he did a 30-day cold showers,
Oh.
and that was kind of like his feedback from it. So I'd be open to trying something like that. I don't know if I
I'm
go a
open,
full
but
30
that
days.
sounds scary.
It does. It's like one of those things. You already sit here, but I can see the purpose of it right from that to
Yeah.
like help rest it. So that's actually a good question. Everyone else out there currently watching, that live chat is open. That's for you guys.
Send something.
Keep those questions rolling. We appreciate it. We're having fun.
How's your day going?
Yeah.
Well, actually, he's from Germany. It's probably
Yeah, Germany. I mean, your nighttime for sure. I would assume. Looks like.
Maria Struck. I wonder who that is.
I wonder who that is,
Yeah.
everyone. So my mother is on here. Tony Robbins does the plunge pool, and yes, I've heard
What's
the plunge pool. It's like a plunge into a cold pool. From what I understand, yeah, and it's like a short-term thing.
I
think.
like that.
Yeah, but I think you're in it for like 2 minutes or maybe even less, and you do a cold plunge, and then there's like a ritual for how you come out of it and everything too. Looks like Jeff asked another question to you, Jeff.
Oh. He said, "Have you collaborated with any big names or some of the up and coming artists?" I would say, well, big names, no, not yet, unfortunately. But obviously, I'm working towards that every single day to be in that position where I will.
But
work
you've
with
had some interactions.
I've
with
had I've had interactions and I've had mentorship from a big name. I
So
don't.
go ahead, talk
Well,
about that.
I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's my position to reveal or tell.
Yeah, I think so because you had conversations with them.
I had for like was it like half a year, a few months, I was in contact and receiving some mentorship from, I don't know if you may have heard of him, but Baby No Money, he had that song La La La, like the when I pop dong, yeah, that one.
That song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He hit me up on SoundCloud before that song came out, like a year before it came out when he was still popping, and he just said, "I like your music, man. I want to like just like help you out, just as a way to get some help, just mentor me." And so he just kind of showed me some of the ropes and stuff, and just learned through that, and then it kind of just dissolved a little bit over time. But
Yeah, and then I've got a buddy back at college. His name's Keaton Jones.
shout out Kian.
Shout out Keaton, Dorm Room Entertainment. Go check him out. He's doing big things. But we were sitting in his dorm room with him when he originated the concept.
Yeah.
And Justin was actually out to visit me at college, and we were sitting in Keaton's dorm room when he came up with Dorm Room Entertainment, and Keaton has
Oh yeah,
he's
that's
made some
next. Yeah,
enormous connections.
that's next. Yeah.
So Keaton, if you're watching this, Justin's gonna be hitting you up at some point because he needs a music video done.
A whole lot of respect to you, man.
Yes, whole lot of respect.
Let's see.
Yeah, we got some more questions here. Mike, what is your book? A soft copy one? Yeah, it's a soft copy book. If you send me an email, I'll probably send you over an ebook. I might even be able to get you a hard copy to you as well. Just don't know how timelines are going to be with everything going on, but we'll definitely explore that. Valgard here. I agree. It gives me a huge dose of energy for the whole. Interesting. Huge dose of energy for the whole day. The feeling after the shower is great. You're hot and you just want to keep dancing. I feel it. I like that.
Yeah, I feel that.
I could understand because vice versa. Once you get out of a hot shower, it's usually cool.
Yeah. I try to lay on the floor or something. Go to sleep. I try
Yeah.
to go to sleep.
Exactly. So I could see how the inverse of that, coming out of a cold shower, would be nice. So cool. That's good to know. Then Jeff, that's what's up. Have you thought about relocating to the big cities to get more exposure? Yeah,
Yes,
talk about where you're
sir.
going next.
Yes, sir. Well, now it was supposed to be next month, but in August I'll be moving to Los Angeles
Yep.
because of school, but also because of it's where everything is. You know, Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago, Atlanta, Toronto, all those places. But the thing with the internet now, it's not an essential. It's not a necessity to go live there,
No.
but it definitely does help. Anyone would be lying to say it doesn't help. It's hard because it's expensive to live in those places,
Right.
but it helps because you're just surrounded by so many like-minded people.
It goes back to the same reason you're at Crass. It puts you around like-minded people.
Yeah.
And especially
And
when you're
Connections,
right, connections.
because that's it's key in music.
Yeah, and the 3 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Like you're 3 degrees of separation. You're just 3 people away from getting to the person you really want to get to.
Yep.
And you just expedite that process when you live in a big city with that city surrounding the genre of whatever industry you're in.
Yeah.
Film, music, big in LA. You know, you
For
moved
sure.
to New York, you got music, you do have a lot of theater. Theater's big in New York. So I think that would kind of encompass why moving to a city.
Yeah.
But not just a big city, I don't think. I think it's got to be at least popping around your industry.
Yeah, it's a big city like I said, Los Angeles because of the film industry, but also
Right.
the music industry. New York because more of the music industry and the fashion industry. Toronto music industry, Atlanta music. You know, there's a lot of options. Also Nashville,
Right.
but they're all different. They all have their own unique. They're all unique to whatever genre because there's different genres throughout the country, especially in rap music based on regions.
Right.
So, you know,
So just you see this RKLK here?
Yeah.
Her name's Rose. She's actually the one that introduced, I think,
someone's saying bump
turn
the sound a little
turn
bit.
up the sound a
We'll
little
turn up
bit.
the
All right,
pre
let's
a
let the
little bit.
audio engineer do that. So she actually, I think, originally brought up your Wix music video last
okay.
live stream.
Okay.
So we'll answer that question in a second. Jeff, I saw you just said something about Dorm Room Entertainment. Go check out Dorm Room Entertainment. Tell Keaton I sent you over. Message him directly. I promise you he'll get back to you if you want to learn more about him. Now, Rose, this one's totally for you.
She said, "Why did you choose DistroKid over the other distribution services, and how are you submitting copyrights for your songs? What are your thoughts on independent versus?" Ooh, that's
So
a good one.
3 really solid questions.
Answer the first one: DistroKid over other distribution services. I actually just used DistroKid because it was the cheapest. But honestly, I think DistroKid is my favorite because a lot of people use DistroKid. It's like there's like no strings attached, and you get 100% of your revenue,
Right.
and you can upload unlimited songs. You could set your own label name. Like it's. I mean, I see. I haven't used TuneCore or was it CD Baby. I haven't used those before, but based on my experience using DistroKid, I would highly recommend it. And I know a lot of people that also use DistroKid and would say the same thing.
Second one I think
Second
was
question,
copyrights. How are you seeing that?
copyrights. That's something that you got to do. Actually, we had school at school. We had to learn about music law and copyrights and stuff like that. So that's a long question that
So I guess her direct one,
is
are
a
you
have
doing any copyrights for your songs yet?
not at the, I should. I have to,
Right.
but not at the moment. No. And to answer your last question on being independent versus signed,
Oof.
that's that's tough because I would say independent, but signing doesn't necessarily mean you're signing your life away because you don't have to sign a 360 deal. You can sign a distribution. So all they're doing is just putting it out there for you. They're not really controlling you, but it has it's that's a very personal thing, and it's hard to say because the moment that you get that contract, you have to have the guts to say yes or no. It can be hard to say yes and no. So it's a that's a very situational but also hard question to
So let me
answer.
ask you because we've got more questions filtering through, which is awesome. Keep them coming in the chat. We're going to answer all of them. But in your opinion, would you prefer independent or signed? Or would you prefer to start your own?
That's tough. I would prefer sign just to see the life.
Yeah.
Not signing as in like a 360 deal where you're basically signing your life away, but more like a distribution just so you can just to see what that's like.
Okay, that's fair.
Just to dabble into it and not and obviously you want to have a good contract and not get screwed over. So
Right.
you do your research
Absolutely. No, I completely agree.
for sure.
Jeff Mendoza, that's what's up. Hit me up whenever you're in LA or need something whatsoever.
For sure.
Looks like Jeff's in LA.
Awesome.
Sweet. Then we got Rose again. This is again to you, Jess. Rose, excellent questions here.
For real. What are your views on the future of music streaming and its impact on physical CD sales? When do you think it is necessary to get a manager, and how has your music changed since attending school? Ooh,
Okay.
that's some really good questions.
Really, really solid question. So go ahead and start with the first one.
So the future of music streaming is streaming. That's what I think it's gonna be for a while. It was a good idea. It was a great idea that became the standard.
Any
And it's
particular platforms?
well, there's Spotify and Apple Music and Tidal and Amazon. I personally use Spotify, but there's like a whole war between them and who pays more, and that's the issue. But as in physical CD sales, I think CDs, unfortunately, they're the way the data is showing, they'll probably become like the same way that people buy cassettes. They just don't buy them anymore. It's the vinyl industry, funny enough, has been rising because it's become more and more popular to buy vinyl, but CDs unfortunately are on the decline. When you think is it necessary to get a manager? If you're just starting, you get a manager. You're the luckiest person ever. But uh, honestly, whenever it's, I would say you can say whenever, but to be a little bit more specific, I would say after you've honed in your craft more is probably the best time to have a manager because if you're getting a manager, you're wanting someone who invests in you and also thinks that your stuff is good. So you should work on having good stuff to show to a manager.
Yeah, and I think and this is an open, honest Q&A. And by the way, guys, keep those questions coming. Valgard, I saw yours. Thank you for attending. I know you got to get back to work. You stay healthy too.
Stay safe.
Yep, stay safe. But keep those questions coming. I think what's important here is, like I said, it's an open, honest Q&A. And
Yep.
this is one that you're battling with currently right now. Manager, no manager. How do I get the manager? Stuff like that. So I think, like Justin said, when you really put in your reps, honed in your craft.
It's a question I'm still working on.
Right.
It's something I'm still trying to get. you
Yep.
know?
And then I think she's got a second part of
Yeah,
that
she does.
last
And
question.
how has your music changed since attending school? Oh, it's increased. The quality has increased because of, the information I'm learning from school, but also because of the how much more time is I've been spending on music because the amount of free time that school allows, and because I'm always working on something audio related, it's translated over to my personal craft. But like I said in previously, like 30 minutes ago, I've had experience before going to school, but um, school has definitely taken what I've learned before and compounded even more knowledge on top that I now apply to my own personal craft.
Right. Awesome. And then so she said, by the way, sorry, I have a lot of questions. Don't
All good,
apologize
all
for
good.
that. Keep the questions coming. Everybody currently on here live, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, show support to Justin,
For real.
show love to the channel, and keep asking questions in that live chat. My class is live streaming right now, but I just got here. Yeah, I completely understand.
Get it.
She looks like Rose has some more questions down here, which is great.
How do you think the rise of artificial intelligence will affect logistics in the music industry? Do you think any of the big music companies, Sony, Universal, Warner, will fall within an
Ooh,
ooh,
wow.
ooh,
Rose, wow, these are
wow.
some hot and controversial
So
questions. I like
now
this.
I don't think that Sony, Universal, Warner are gonna fall just based on how much they have, because it's those are the three. They own basically everything.
And they even have like labels under
Yeah, yeah,
labels,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Because those are just the parent companies, and then under all of them are like Sony has Epic, they have Columbia, they have all them Universal. I think Universal Warner has Interscope, and then like you have so like Sony, they have the labels under them, and then those labels have labels under them.
Right.
Like it's such a complex web
Hmm.
that I don't think necessarily that they'll disappear, but I think with the rise of people seeing how independent artists are working, I think less and less people will see. I think more and more people actually will see the disadvantages of signing
Right.
rather than wanting or seeking out to sign, because they'll see the negatives more than the positives.
I agree with that, and I think in within this decade, I agree. I don't think those huge companies are going to fall, but I think you're right. It'll become a little bit more exposed as to what you can do independently,
For sure.
as it already has.
Oh
It
yeah.
started, and then the second part of that.
Artificial intelligence. See, I've been beginning to do my research on that, and I still have a lot more to learn about it. But based on I only know like a basic amount of knowledge on it. But I think, yeah, the possibility of, I don't know if you're asking about like artificial intelligence writing music,
Well, it
because
sounds like the logistics in the music industry, so maybe distribution.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I think here's what I do believe. I think artificial intelligence will only help
Yeah,
the logistics of the music industry. I think it'll make it easier for artists to move online quicker
yeah,
to upload music. Artificial intelligence will only help
yeah,
the logistics of the music industry. I think it'll make it easier for artists to move online quicker
yeah.
to upload music. That's my thought on that. Would you
Hmm.
agree?
But also, artificial intelligence is growing into that they're having AI write songs,
Interesting.
and they're having AI even make music now too.
Really?
Yeah. So
Do you think that'll be a thing? Do you think that'll ever
I
catch
I
on?
think I think what as AI gets more and more intelligent, yeah, but I still think that there's the human aspect of it
Right.
that it's hard to replicate, that the feel,
The
the
relationship.
emotion in
Right.
it, which is what gets people to listen.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely. Perfect. All right, guys, that chat is open. We just caught up on all those questions. I'd love to keep answering some more. I'm sure Justin would love to keep answering
for
some
sure.
more. So as long as you have questions, we have answers. No question's a bad question. Ask any question you'd like. We're here to help answer them and here to have a good time. However, if you guys want to tap out, whenever you tap out, we'll tap out. And that'll be that. But we're still open for some questions. I'd say within the next 20 minutes or so, we'll probably wrap up completely. But again, we're here for some questions.
For sure.
Hey, Mike, what is usually the average for a Wix partner to charge? What is too much and too less? Wow. Okay, so that's a really good question. What is the average for a Wix partner to charge? I would not say there's an average. I think there's so much versatility in prices, like a lot. But the reason for that too is because there's a lot of different style projects. So like one web development project might be really small, quick gig. For some people, they might only charge a couple $100s for that. Other people might charge a couple $1,000s for that gig. So I think it really depends. However, when you ask what is too much or too less, I don't look on the chart of too much. I don't think I do think obviously there's an extent to where it's way too much for a certain project. I'm someone that prices based off of value. So typically people in pure honesty would say my prices are on the higher side of the scale, and I am perfectly okay with that. Let me tell you why. Because I will make sure that my work reflects the prices that someone is paying. When they're paying that high price, they're paying for the value, they're paying for the communication, they're paying for the great project. And people are much more likely to pay a premium for those things as compared to paying $250 on really what should be a $10,000 project. The people that are charging $250 are coming in to undercut you, but will they really provide the same type of service and delivered result as you will? I don't know the question of that. Likely not, but you have to be the one to determine that. As far as an average, though, it's tough to say an average. I would say a couple $1,000s, maybe $2,000 if I were to give an average Wix project based on all the data from all the partners. But that's not my average. That's a Wix average. I would say personally, and you can watch my pricing video, when I got to a Wix average, or when I got to my average on an average project value, it was at $5,000 average project value at one point. So you have to price accordingly, right? According to what you deliver, what you offer. Great question, though.
Sure.
So looks like Rose, another question directed more towards you.
What is the most useful thing you've learned so far in music school? Um, at the moment, I would say personally, just for me, getting knowledge that's, I think the most useful thing it's listening when the teachers give out those little bits of advice that isn't really in the lesson but can do that can do so much more, like that, the little tip that they do, like this is what I do. um that's how I learn. That's just me, how I personally learn. I'm a listener. I like to listen to what's being said, and then interpreting it, and then putting it into practice.
Right.
And that's even how my teachers learn. They didn't have the school bell. Well, some of them, a lot of them actually did go to the school. But a lot of the, like, engineers before, if you didn't go to school, you would, intern at a studio, and you would learn by being in the room with the top engineers, and examining and like doing quick research, and like watching what they do. And sometimes, like, after a session, you can ask, and they'll be like, you can ask, hey, what did you do? Like, obviously you don't ask when they're busy. That's how you get fired. Uh, for real, it's pretty cutthroat. Uh, and you would ask, like, why did you do this, or how did you do this? And just by that little piece of advice, it compounds. The more you learn, now you have a whole arsenal of tricks and stuff that you can do that can make your space. It compounds. The more you learn, now you have a whole arsenal of tricks and stuff that you can do that can make yours pick up on the little things and apply it to the bigger things.
Awesome. It looks like she's got a couple more questions
Yep.
on there too, which is awesome. Keep those questions rolling in the chat feed.
Shell said, in a world with so many artists struggling to make it, how do you plan to stand out?
Hmm.
That's a tough question. It's something that I think all of us up and coming artists are trying to figure out. But me personally, I would say the best way to stand out is, be yourself. Um, Obviously, because people can see past that. People can definitely see when you're faking, and you're putting up a front. Obviously, you could put a character,
Mhm.
and that's different. But honestly, be yourself. um, be genuine. Be humble. But I will also say is you have to believe. Like, if you doubt yourself every single step of the way, then it's not gonna work. You just kind of, at some point, you gotta literally have it locked into your mind that this is what's gonna happen, and this is how it's gonna happen, and work towards that. And if you believe it enough, then you'll hit it. So
Absolutely.
it's I don't know if that applies to standing out, but it's a hard question to answer. But Be yourself, be genuine, be humble, and you gotta believe in yourself.
And always share your stuff.
And always share. Yeah,
Always share
always
your
share.
stuff. Always get feedback from people. Share your music. Put it out there. I think that's a big key that people do miss, right?
Yeah.
And so sharing your stuff. I think she's got another part on there too.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts on AWOL? I've heard of AWOL. I don't know too much about it, so unfortunately, I don't know if I can answer because
Yeah.
I don't want to say something that's incorrect. So
That's fair. Looks like she's got more questions
yeah, she
down there.
does.
And then Jeff, to answer your question, yeah, I'll work on a video for QR code tutorials. I can work on that. And then keep those questions coming in the live chat. Please feel free. Again, I'm here interviewing Baby Just. That's my brother, artist, hip hop, rap artist, doing great stuff. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Keep showing some love and support, and
Gotta
keep
like
those
it.
questions rolling. Cool. So we got more. Go ahead, Just. These are aimed towards you, which is perfect.
It's great. What do you think is the most important attribute for an artist to have? Um,
It's a good question.
Attribute. Um,
I've
Man.
got my thought, and it's to me, it's similar to an
I
entrepreneur.
would say work ethic. At the end of the day, it's work. Obviously the saying, like, if you love your job, you won't work a day in your life. If you love it, you do, but you still have to work. There's still parts of the music industry and being an artist that aren't as fun as doing and creating. And so, yeah, if you have a strong work ethic, I think you'll be able to overcome anything because it wouldn't matter how hard it gets because you'll love doing it regardless.
So I think that's a great answer, and I think you kind of bridged into what I would have said,
Yeah.
which would be grit.
Grit, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
having the grit.
Oh yeah,
to
you can't give up.
No,
You
so
can't. It's one of those things where it's one of those things where everyone says it, don't give up, never give up. It sounds like, it's not, everyone's like, yeah, 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 yeah. They always say never give up, but they wouldn't say if it wasn't true.
the same thing applies for entrepreneurship and starting a business. If you don't have grit, if you don't have what it takes to get hit with adversity and jump over it, you, I'm I hate to be blunt, but you're not going to make it. It's that simple. You're always going to have things hitting you from all different directions, and you got to duck, 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 jab, 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 and hit them out of the way. And it's pushing through that wall. The same thing applies to being an artist. Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So
Second part
she's
of that
got
question,
more.
she said, "What's the most shocking thing I've learned based on interactions I've had with people that are I would say would be higher up? Is just they're people. I mean, it's weird. Like these people that I think are larger than life. When you meet them and you say hi and stuff, they're people. At the end of the day, they're just like you. If you what you it's cool because once you get that fact through your head and once you see it, your whole view changes. When you watch videos now, you see things that they do that you do, and it makes it feel they feel human. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not like a robot. They're people just like you and me. I think that's the most shocking thing I found.
And I think that's a great point. And to kind of piggyback off of that point, if you were looking for more like, oh, what happens like behind the scenes, just some weird stuff happen. Here would be my weird stuff happens behind the scenes in every
In
single
everything,
industry. You
yeah.
look at business, you look at music, you look at politics, you look at anything. There will always be those outliers where there is some weird stuff happening behind the scenes. Now, do I participate in it? No. Do you participate in it?
No.
No. But there is some weird stuff that happens behind the scenes. Do I know what all of that stuff is? Absolutely not. But I think what Justin said was super important in the fact that big business owners, big artists, everyone is just human. So building that connection with them, that's the most shocking part. People think there's this big secret recipe to like, oh
No.
my God, how do you get there and how do you meet those people? Just be human.
It's work.
Just be yourself.
It's be human, realize they're human, and work hard to be in the same position they are.
Exactly. Awesome. It looks like we got some more questions here, and I'm just going to answer Jeff's at the bottom real quick.
for it.
I'm the big bro between the both of us. I'm 21 going on 22, 19 going on 20. Looks like Rose here has some more under that.
What do you think the most effective way to counteract illegal downloads in music? What do you view as the catalyst for the rise in demand for streaming services?
These are some great questions.
Yeah. For the first one, I don't. I mean, I'm not the what was it the where the those things they play before a movie, the show that
Like the
pirate.
copyright, the
Yeah.
piracy scene. Yeah.
Pirate. See, illegal downloads in music. I don't participate in it. Counteracting it. See, I don't know how I would go about that because as a musician, I'm not the guy running the web traffic and doing the running those sites. But to be as blunt as possible, as I don't think you can.
Yeah.
There really is no way to stop it. It's like it's gonna whatever song you're looking for, it's gonna be out there some way.
I think it's hard. I think that goes for anything.
For anything, you can slow it down, but
You can't stop it
you
as a
can't
whole.
stop it. No.
All right. Second part of that. Go ahead. The catalyst
We
part.
view as a catalyst for the rise. Try and figure out what that is.
The catalyst for the rise in demand of streaming service. So why do you think there's been a rise in demand?
Oh, because it's so easy to access it. It's so accessible. You could pull out your phone, and people used to rave about having an iPod that held like 500 songs. Now you go pull out your phone that has a playlist that has 500 songs in it,
Right.
and that's like one playlist out of maybe 20 playlists that you have. It's so easy to be able to get good, high quality streaming music anywhere, anytime. And if you pay a monthly, it's free for it could be free. And if you pay, especially for like Spotify and Apple Music, you can download it for offline use. So you don't
Right.
even need internet to listen to music. You could wherever. It's I think it's such a great thing that was invented, and I think it completely changed the industry forever. And it also opened up for people like us to be able to uh work. Like now it gave with SoundCloud, but also like Spotify through DistroKid and TuneCore and CD Baby and all those distribution services. Like it's given everyone an equal chance to do it. Now I think that could be a bad thing because it super oversaturates the market.
Right.
But it's easy it's pretty easy to determine what's good and what's not. So
Right. I think that's a great answer. And then under that, it looks like Martis. I apologize if I got that name wrong. Do you distribute yourself or are you under a label?
I distribute through DistroKid. So technically myself, but it's through DistroKid.
Perfect. And then Jeff, hey Mike, I have a project I've already spent a lot of time on. I think it's 3/4 done. Would you give us some time to see on helping out to finish the project? My answer to you on Jeff is I'll take a look at it. I'm not taking many projects right now, but if you email me, if you go to the about section on my channel and view my business email, you can email me some details. I'm happy to look over it and see if it's a project that would fit for both of us.
Ty asked me when am I releasing another project? Whenever it's done. I don't have a definitive answer, but within this year, definitely.
Certainly. Who's the big bro? We answered that, and then Rose looks like she's got a couple more questions.
What artists have influenced you the most, and how do you find the balance between being inspired and copying? That's good too.
That's also a really
Uh,
great question.
I answered this early on,
Like
but
way early in there.
but my favorite inspirations: Kanye West, Frank Ocean, Daniel Caesar. I would say, oh man, Travis Scott. I'm trying to think of I'm not trying to pick all like the hot one. Very inspiring to me. Uh, I can see it's hard to rank inspiration because I try to pull it from everything. So you can be on YouTube and you can find a guy that just that got found in your recommended that's still on his rise too, and that can inspire me. That can be a lot more. That could be even more inspiring than listening to my favorite album. You know what I mean? Just a single song by an unknown artist can do so much more. So it's hard to definitively give an answer.
Well, and I think the second part of that's really good. So
Yeah, what's the difference between being inspired and copying? So I would say being inspired is taking something that you enjoy and then putting your own unique spin on it.
right.
And copying or biting is just taking something and just completely trying to do that, like trying to replicate it in a sense where you're just trying to not necessarily make it your own, but just taking something and basically just recreating it but with your voice.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the difference.
Absolutely. Perfect. Let's continue to get those likes down below on the video. Hit that subscribe button. Show some love to Justin and to the channel. We've got some more questions here. We'll probably go for another like 10, 15 minutes. So I encourage everyone that's on right now to go ahead and put your questions in this live chat so we can keep answering.
For sure.
I mean, if you guys really want to go longer than that, we can explore it, but we have to have the questions there to do so. There's been some phenomenal questions asked in the past few minutes. We've got Jeff up here. Hey, do you guys think being charming makes a difference in social, professional, personal aspect? If so, name any experience it works out for you guys. So, do I think being charming makes a difference? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it does. Now, by charming, I think it would be like charismatic,
Yeah.
just having a good personality.
I would say being approachable.
Yeah, approachable. Given experience, it works out for you. I'm at a networking event. I'm talking to someone. I'm charming. At the end of it, I win over their business.
If people say that they like to be around you, then that's what you should try to aim to be. If when
Right.
people enjoy to be in your presence.
Yeah, if people start talking about, and you shouldn't care what other people
No,
think.
you shouldn't care.
But if people consecutively talk about how you're a grump or how you're mean to everybody or how you're not all that fun to be around, that's the time to maybe look in the mirror and self-reflect and think about, like, am I really doing everything I can to be charming, to be charismatic? Cool. We got Rose again for both of you. Do you think that you have found your passion or purpose in life? If so, do you have a plan on how to achieve your potential, and how did you find your passion? Wow, those great question. So personally, I'll go ahead. I'll take it.
Go for it.
Yes, I have found my passion. My passion is entrepreneurship. It's business. It's building businesses, growing them to a successful point. As far as do I have a plan on how to achieve my potential? I still work through that every day in terms of, what does that mean? What is the end goal? And I think it continues to change as I continue to get older and evolve. But just building up a life of freedom. That is my potential. Building a life of freedom, financial freedom and personal freedom to be able to do what I want on my clock when I want with whoever I want. So building that life of freedom, that's what my potential is and how I found it. We had a great upbringing. We
Yep.
really did. Our parents instilled some great values in us. So shout out to my parents. And just taught us that anything you want to achieve is possible. Nothing's off limits, and you should shoot for the moon and hit the sun.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. That's my part. What about you?
Yeah, I would say I found. Let me read the question real quick. Yes, so I have found my passion. I would say definitively, music is definitely my passion, and being an artist is, my dream goal in life, and that's what I've been striving. That's what I'm striving for every single day. Um, and yes, obviously I have a plan to achieve my passions through, in the beginning it was just kind of winging it and just trying to get better, and then as time went on and I grew in skill overall, uh, yeah, a plan forms out. You start to critically think about what you want and what your goals, and when you find something that you're passionate about, you'll definitely you'll find a way to make a plan. And if you love it enough, you'll definitely find a way to get to where you want to be, whether that's goal setting or having a plan in mind.
Yeah.
Anything.
I totally agree. Then we've got another question up there. How much planning goes into
Your music, or just go with the flow? What are some interesting trends you see emerging in the music industry? Would you say are the gatekeepers in the industry? So I would say how much planning
What a
goes
great
into the
question.
music. It's pretty funny. I don't really plan too much about music in general. Like typically when I'm with friends and we're working, um we'll maybe have like a plan where we want to make an album. That's usually the plan. Is you usually have a project in mind. Do I want to make an album? Do I want to make an EP? Do I want to make a mixtape? That's usually the plan. And then the music creation side of it is really go with the flow. It's like attempt, but mostly work when it's working.
Yeah.
Like work when it's everything is falling into place and it sounds good. Um, yeah, I gotta scroll up. I got it
Yeah, right there.
right there.
Yep.
Cool. What are some interesting trends you see emerging in the music industry? Uh, a lot more respect is coming for bedroom producers with Billie Eilish and all that. That she really proved that you can really grow from your bedroom and win Grammys. I think that's a big trend that people are finally respecting them. Also, like I see like auto-tuned rappers, which is a good thing. I don't find that as a bad thing. Like Don Toliver and all of them, that's definitely going to be a prevalent sound, I think, in the 2020s. Also, I think more industrial type hip hop, like kind of Yeezus trend from Kanye West. I think that's a different direction. Also, TikTok, that's
TikTok's a
is huge.
huge trend.
That's made people so huge. Who'd you say are the gatekeepers in the industry? I'm not gonna out any fan bases, but that's I don't want to. I'm not gonna say that to out any artist. In the future, if this ever comes back to bite me in the ass, I would say there are gatekeepers and there's fan bases I don't enjoy and I find them to be annoying. But what are you gonna do? They the same way that I like someone is the same way they like someone. They might be a little bit more vocal about it and a little bit more, rude and abrasive, and you could be a stan about it. But
Mhm.
it
What are you
happened.
gonna do,
Yeah,
right?
what are you gonna do? You just gotta actually learn to ignore it, and it'll be
Right.
better.
Yeah. Then we got Ty up at the top. If you had to listen to only one artist for the rest of your life, who would you listen to and why?
This is pretty radical, but I might say Daniel Caesar.
Daniel Caesar. I I know this sounds interesting and funny, but I would honestly choose you, and I'll
Mm,
tell you why. Because I thoroughly enjoy listening and supporting to Justin's music, but more importantly, it's constantly evolving, and I think there's still such an evolution to go in it that there's going to be a lot of versatility
yeah,
as the music continues, and I want to be along for that journey. I want to be along for that ride. So I truly would say Justin's music. So great question, Ty. Then Jeff, about the QR code tutorials, how to have a QR code reader. Yep, I can work on QR code tutorials. Jeff, great. Have you guys looked into videos on YouTube on how to better yourself and be more charming? If so, anyone you guys follow for it?
personally, no, but I have looked up on YouTube like some like I've looked up like personality, like how to be more so and so, like
Right.
A or B. I mean,
Uh huh.
I've definitely done that in the past when I was when I'm learning. But I think that if you be yourself and you be who you are personally, then it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, I think the my answer to that is unlock the true potential of you. Who to follow for that? Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi. Those are some great examples. Ed Milet, Jim Rohn. These are all big names
Earl
in the self.
Nightingale.
Earl Nightingale. That's a real old one, but yeah, these are all big names in the self development space. So unlock your best potential. Do I follow that and follow those practices? Yes, I do. I do a lot of personal development. Lewis Howes School of Greatness. Those are all great examples. Looks like Rose again. Personally, this one's for you. Ooh, this is a really good one too.
Personally, have you taken criticisms about your music and used it to improve? Can you name two artists that you think will be considered legends 10 years from now? So criticisms, yes, I've had criticism on my music. um it's gonna happen. You can't avoid it, and you take it, and I do take that and I improve upon it. um I hear what someone says about the music and how I can improve it, and I apply it and I see how it works. And if it makes it better, then there you go, it worked. And if it doesn't make it better, then you find something, but that's all you need.
It's a good answer. And how about two artists that you think could be considered legends 10 years from now?
Me and Ty,
There you
deadass.
go.
Not gonna lie, we got this.
You heard it here. This video is that marking spot. 10 years from now, two legends.
I would say me, Ty, Day Day, Jacob, and my people,
There you go.
my group.
That's just believing in yourself, and that's part of
I would
that.
say our clique,
Yeah,
our the 343
you
people,
click. Yeah.
the 343.
Jeff, just how about some pieces of live?
Ooh, like live,
I
I mean, I could, but I don't I don't have anything to do. Like,
unless you throw on a beat in freestyle.
yeah, but then I don't want to. There's no way I don't have it set up to like run
Yeah,
audio. And
right.
I
Uh,
wish I could, but unfortunately, we didn't prepare a setup for that. But
Here's what I'll tell you. If you guys let me know in this comment section if you guys would like to see a virtual, can I throw it out there, see what the
whatever.
feedback is?
Yeah, go for it.
Would you guys like to see a virtual concert hosted here on the channel of Justin, maybe even Day Day, together as a combined hip hop rap duo concert, virtual concert? I know everyone's in quarantine. You can't go out to literal concerts right now, So let me know in the chat if that's something you'd like to see, and then also keep those questions rolling. We'll probably go for about the next 10 minutes or so.
For sure.
Wish I could get them to go live, but it's tough to do that right now. All right, so Rose, that's it for my questions. I have to go back to class. Thanks, guys. Also, your song "Elegance" on your old
Yeah,
channel.
it's an old one.
That's a real old one. It's
Thank
stuck
you,
in my
though.
head.
I appreciate it.
That's awesome. That is actually really cool.
It
Thank you,
is.
Rose, for the questions. Great, great questions. Seriously, like those were
For
rock
sure.
star questions. Josh,
Ever listen to UK artists? For sure. Slow Tie, Skepta, all those dudes. That grime movement, amazing.
he's from the UK. It looks like.
Respect it. It's good music.
Awesome. All right, guys. Again, I'll keep our live chat open for probably about 9 more minutes. If you guys have questions, we've got answers. Otherwise, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, show some love to support to Justin, to the channel.
For sure.
But we'll keep it open for a few more minutes. If you have any last questions you'd like to either ask Justin or I. And then just as a reminder, tomorrow morning, I'm hosting a live workout, a group workout. Got to stay healthy during this time. I'm going to work out anyway, so might as well bring you guys live and show you how that works. And then Thursday evening here on the channel, we're doing a virtual happy hour. Enjoy either a cold adult beverage or non-adult beverage. I'll be going adult beverage. You'll have to find out what I'm going to be drinking, and you guys can ask me questions on that as well. We'll have some fun there. I'm sure Justin will pop up at some point too.
I'll pop my head in.
Yeah. So that'll be a good time. But that's kind of the schedule of events happening on the channel. Otherwise, I'll give you guys last opportunity here to go ahead, write in the live chat, last call to ask a few questions to either Justin or I. We're happy to answer them. I appreciate everybody's participation in this.
Outlandish.
Yeah. Last point here is Outlandish, Justin's new song featuring.
Yeah, we can say it. Yeah.
Justin's new song featuring Ty Cook. For those of you that have been active in this live stream, you see Ty's asked quite a few questions.
Sure.
Great questions. That is coming out Thursday night. Thursday night. So Outlandish is gonna be a hit. It really is. I'm excited for it. So I know you guys are excited for it.
For sure.
It'll be a good time. But Outlandish, link will be in the description here on this video. There we go. Ty with Outlandish. I knew you'd be for it, Ty.
Dude, it's a good song.
Good song, Ty. It's a good song. Everybody's gonna be for it.
We've been sitting on that one for way too long.
Everyone will be for it. But yes, I will throw the links here on this video and on my community page in the channel so everyone can take a listen there. But once again, I'm going to go ahead and give a last call for questions. It's kind of weird. We've been at this for 2 hours. Like, it's kind of felt like it, but kind of hasn't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm happy everybody started asking some great questions, though.
Yeah, that was great.
A nice round of real, especially for artists out there.
Made me think, yeah.
Yeah, it did. So Rose had everybody had some great questions. But again, last call. Go ahead and use that live chat. Justin and I are happy to answer any last minute questions here. If you've got any, or if you just hopped in or popped out, whatever that may be. One last call. Other than that, I think it's been good. What do you think?
I think it's been great.
Yeah, enjoyed the live stream.
Good time. I woke up early for this.
Yeah,
haven't had to do that in a little bit.
For your schedule, yes.
Yeah,
he lives on a different schedule than most.
Like a schedule. That's how it is.
Yes. But it's been a good episode. Everyone, too, make sure you're staying safe. Make sure you're staying healthy. Social distancing. Stay inside unless it's essential. Just play your part. That's the biggest thing. Are we going to stop this thing? No, we're not going to stop it. But we can slow the spread.
Play your part by playing video games or something.
Yeah.
Play Modern Warfare 2. Play the Modern Warfare 2 remastered.
There you go. Listen to music. Work on your online business. Make videos. Make music. Just do your thing. Just
watch movies.
Inside. Watch movies. Play board games. Be with your family. Do that whole routine.
Watch Ex Machina on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
There you go. All right. We'll give everyone 1 more minute here. 1 more minute to go ahead and ask any final questions. If we don't have anything pop out, we'll go ahead and close the live stream up there and call it a wrap. I'd say it was a successful live stream.
I would say so too. All right, let's see.
Yep, we'll give everybody about 30 more seconds to ask their final questions.
Down to the wire.
And then I've got a little closing I'm going to ask everybody to do. Good Netflix series. Josh Porter. Ooh, he slid it in there last second.
The Good Place. Uh, Obviously The Office. But you're from the UK, so UK and US.
Yeah.
They're good. I don't watch TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, there's like I know Ozark's out, the new season
I
of
haven't seen it.
Ozark.
Mom and Dad watched it.
I'm a big fan. Silicon Valley, that's not
That's
Netflix.
HBO.
That's HBO. One of my all-time favorites is Billions. Billions is
Not
Showtime.
Netflix.
I know. I'm just saying, not Netflix, but Showtime. Those are my personal favorites. But yeah, yeah, that's about it on me. All right, I'll give everyone because it looks like a few more just popped on. I think Prison Break is good. I'd recommend.
Well,
Thank you for
I heard it was good. I heard Prison Break was good.
Cool. So, all right, since we had a few more people pop, I'll give everyone 30 more seconds to ask any final questions you might have for Justin or I. In the meantime, what I would kindly ask is that if you're on right now in the live chat on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rank how this live stream went? Was quality good, audio good, content good? How would you rank it? Go ahead and give us on a scale from 1 to 10 how it went and what your overall thoughts were.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. But seriously, all the pressure in the world because we need you to put this. Yeah. We got a 10 from Ty. Appreciate it, Ty. Much love.
Thanks, pal.
We'll give everybody else an opportunity here.
Opportune time.
Opportune time. Go stream Justin's music.
Go stream some Ty. Go stream Ty's music too.
Everybody back and forth. I'll throw everybody's down in the description below once we close this thing up. Definitely go stream Justin's music. Ty and Justin have Outlandish coming Thursday night, featuring Ty Cook. You're gonna want to hear that. It's gonna be a hit song. Like seriously, I'm predicting it right now.
I think so.
It's gonna be a hit song. Someone's gonna pick it up on TikTok, and it's gonna become like one of those songs that blows up on TikTok. That's my prediction. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. That's what I believe is gonna happen. We'll see what happens. But once again, scale from 1 to 10. How did this live stream go? I'm going to get, it looks like there's a few people on right now. I'd love everybody that's watching this right this minute to go right in the chat, our live chat here, scale 1 to 10. How did we do? Looks like Justin threw in a 10 for us. I like that 10 number. And make sure we click that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Delaney gave us a 10.
Thank you.
Thanks, Delaney. Love.
Oh, man.
I'll give everyone one more opportunity.
Just let it run. Let it run for another 30 seconds.
Yep, we'll give everyone 30 more seconds, and then we'll go ahead and close out.
How you doing, man?
Good. Had a good live stream.
Yeah, what you been doing for 2 hours?
Yeah, we've been answering questions, and I think it's gone really well.
I like answering questions.
I do too.
I just like talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Talking's
fun.
good. Yeah,
especially when you're in quarantine.
it's good and good for you.
Yeah.
Running up on the wire.
Yep. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead. We are going to close out there. I want to thank you for participating, asking questions with rap hip-hop artist Baby Just. New song, Outlandish, featuring Ty Cook, coming out Thursday night. You can get the link here on the channel. Justin will put it all of his social platforms, profiles in the description below. Make sure to stream it, share it, put it out there on TikTok, social media, wherever you want to put it. Use it, listen to it. It's going to be great. Thank you for participating.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, we'll catch everyone later. Thanks for enjoying the stream. It's been a blast.
It's been great. Bye-bye.
See ya.